welcome to the Fredericksburg Center for Creative Arts, FCCA, Frederick Gallery's November 2024 Textures and Patterns Juried Exhibition. Our juror for this month's show is Francis Thompson of Richmond, Virginia, and thank you so much, Francis, for returning as a juror. I would like to commend him for selecting this beautiful exhibition of work in varied media from artists from around the country. It was a challenge to select work to fit in our gallery, and then especially challenging to select the awards. And I commend you for a job well done. Thank you so much. Downstairs this month in November, we have a solo photography show by the artist Timothy Stevens of Frederick, Maryland. Our first Friday exhibitions are open with the artists here to speak with from about 5 to 8 p.m. and our awards are announced on first Fridays at 6:30 p.m. A little background on Francis, if I may. Francis Thompson is the art program manager at JLL. Over the past 20 years, he's managed a team responsible for maintaining and expanding a contemporary corporate art collection installed within office buildings throughout North America. During the early part of his role with the collection, he led the curatorial development of its rotating exhibition program, which has grown to multiple gallery shows a year and has now expanded to an array of virtual programming. On display within the corporate offices or published on the internet, these art experiences reflect the diversity and culture of the local artist community in partnership with nonprofit art organizations, local museums, and university art departments. Francis holds a Master of Fine Arts in Arts Administration and a Bachelor of Arts in Studio Arts with a concentration in painting and drawing from Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University in Blacksburg, Virginia. So Francis brings a lot of expertise, and he's a wonderful judge of art that the public will enjoy seeing. Please come in person. We're at 813 Sophia Street in historic downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia. Our gallery is open on Monday, Thursday, and Friday from noon to 4, with extended hours from noon to 8:30 on first Fridays, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, and from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Please come to visit in person. Many of these works can only be enjoyed to their fullest when you can walk up close and see the beautiful textures and patterns. Thank you, and stay tuned with this video for a walkthrough of the entire exhibition.
This piece is by Carolyn Patton, and the title of it is Find Out. It's a crochet piece, beautiful designs on it and colors. I really like the texture of the piece, and when I saw the image of it, I thought it was quite interesting, so I wanted it in the exhibition. But then when I saw the piece in person, I really enjoyed the texture of the piece and how the crochet was made to create these different designs and intersecting colors. It's quite beautiful to see in person. This piece is by Elizabeth Saver, and the title of it is With Romance on His Mind. This collage piece is really striking. It's got a lot of different material in the background of the painting, and there's a lot of color. When you see it in person, the scale of it really is striking when you see it. And I love the dialogue that the figures, the two animals, have with each other. So they're speaking and standing on this plane that's made of all these different patterns from the found material underneath. Magazines, newspapers, maybe some wrapping paper. It's really quite colorful and fun. This honorable mention's by Dave Magyar, and the title of it is Red Rock and Desert Scrub. I really enjoyed this photograph where they've mirrored the image, so it's created its own piece. It's its own design. Nature has its own pattern that it creates when you see different things in leaves, but this incorporates rocks, tree branches, leaves, and the image itself is duplicated or reflected, mirrored in a way that it creates a new design, and I find that quite interesting. The presentation of it is really well done as well. and the shadows of the piece, where the sun is casting these shadows on the rocks. It creates this pattern in of itself in the piece. Really quite curious photograph for me. This honorable mention is by Lynette Reed, and the title of it is Keep on Swimming. It's a mixed media piece that's made of all these different marbled papers, and I thought it was quite fun, the color of it, the movement of it, and all the different types of marbled paper that's been layered on the painting. I think it's really well done. A lot of movement and motion in it, not only with the figures that you see in it, the fish, but then also in the marbleized paper. I know that the process can be chance operated in a way, but the artist, in my mind, seems to have made control of how they're creating this marbleized paper. So the pattern that's contained within, there's some chance in it, but then there's some control in it at the same time. Really fun piece. This is our third place winner by Rebecca Carpenter, and the title of it is Adagio. This piece has a lot of three-dimensionality to it. They've used these found objects to create the image. There's storytelling in it as well. When I see the photograph, the figure in it, as well as the objects that are in this, then I start to feel there's a story that the artist is telling through the painting. And the texture of it really creates this curiosity where you want to get closer to the painting. So it's quite well done. It's a smaller painting, but it's really powerful in its storytelling and its encapsulating elements as a finished piece. This is our second place winner by Christine Dixon, and the title of it is Tangents and Tangerines. It's a masterfully well done painting. It's quite beautiful the way that the artist has captured the light in the still life, the fruits that you see. But then where it fits the theme so well is the patterns on the bowl and on the tablecloth. And the painting itself, all of the elements of it, the background, the color choice, the light, the subject matter, they're all painted in a style that's consistent. And I really feel the artist has really expert knowledge of their medium. They know how to control their painting style. And the quality of the presentation, the way it's framed, is quite well done too. It has a very finished quality to the painting. And this is our first place winner, Kim Richards, Dressed in Africa. The painting is really fitting in the theme of the exhibition, the pattern that you see in the background of the painting, and then also the patterns that you see in the flowers. Nature has its own design in my mind, so I really enjoy the incorporation of using these patterns that really speak to the artist, but then they're also incorporating things from nature. And to me, they're also saying that there's patterns and textures in nature. The way that the subject, the figure, the background, the flowers in the foreground are layered, it really creates this dimensional effect for the painting. And the scale of it, I feel, is quite impressive. The artist was not afraid to create a larger painting and create these elements in painting and textures, which isn't easy to do. You can tell there's a lot of commitment, there's a lot of time that's consumed for creating a painting like this, and I feel like the execution of it is quite well. When you see it in the room, in the gallery, it's striking. It really captures you in the room from its scale, its color, and the way that the artist has created it. So I really feel this is quite an impressive painting, so I hope you get to see this in person.